Hey everybody, I'm Sarah.
I'm Josh.
And today we're going to show you how to make Avgolemono soup.
So Sarah, I have to admit, I am not at all familiar with Avgolemono soup. So can you explain a little bit about the soup to me?
Well, Josh, I've not made it before either, but I've learned some things about this soup. And first of all, I pronounce it Avgolemono. There's different ways to pronounce it. And it literally translates to egg lemon soup. And it's a classic Greek soup recipe. It's so good. It's creamy, it's comforting, it's full of flavor, and it's really easy to make.
With a little lemon twist.
With a little lemon twist.
So why don't you explain to me how we get started making the soup?
Perfect. So we've got a Dutch oven. You don't have to get a big stock pot for this recipe. This will work just fine. And we're going to start by making a homemade chicken stock. And so we've got 2 pounds, which is 4 bone-in chicken thighs. And then we're going to add some water. And while I'm doing that, Josh, do you want to get the veg started?
So I'm in charge of the aromatics here. So I'm just going to add some onions, some carrots, and some celery, which is going to give the soup some great flavor. And I have to say that I am a huge fan of making fresh, homemade chicken stock. The flavors are just amazing. And because we're not actually going to be eating these vegetables, I don't even have to worry about peeling the carrots. Just make sure they're clean. We'll chop off the ends here, give them a good rough chop, and then into the pot.
Perfect. While you're doing that, I'm going to add 4 cups of water.
Good teamwork.
It's fun to cook together. All right, so the carrots, the celery, the onions, the chicken, and we're going to add 2 bay leaves as well, along with the 4 cups of water. And once you get that in there, we're going to start it up, bring it to a boil. And now we're going to drop the heat a little bit, and we're going to just keep it at a simmer, put the lid on, and in 2 hours, we're going to have this really rich chicken broth. It's going to have a lot of flavor, nice and golden colored, and we'll be ready to go at that point.
Yummy.
Yummy. All right, should we check it out and see how we're doing?
All right.
All right, that's been 2 hours simmering. It smells so good. It
does smell good.
And the next thing we're going to do is grab the chicken out of here, fish out the chicken.
Okay.
Okay, I think I got everything chicken-wise. And now you can strain
It's a nice little game, find the chicken. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pot here and I'm just going to strain out all the solids.
Is that hot, Josh?
It is not too hot, thankfully.
I'll help you.
Thank you. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh, there was some chicken in there.
Well, there you go. You found some more.
Grab that.
Okay. And then we're going to put this right back on the burner, right?
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, so you're going to grab that and then reserve 1 cup of the broth that we're going to use later.
Okay.
And into this broth here that goes back in, we're going to bring that back to a simmer. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of long grain rice. And I rinsed this already so you can get the starch out of that. That's important. Get that starch off the rice. And you can use other things besides long grain rice. You could use a short grain rice. You could use orzo, or a friend of mine who is Greek. She says that when they had this growing up, they used star pasta. So that's also something you could use. Bring that back to a simmer. Cook it until it's tender, about 10 to 15 minutes.
Perfect. Well, while that cooks, I'm going to start working on the eggs that go into the soup.
Okay.
To me, this is the most unique part about the soup. I've never put eggs in a soup before, so here we go. I'm going to take 1 egg white and I'm going to whisk that on high until it's nice and frothy. All right, so we are done here. As you can see, I have nice soft peaks here.
Perfect.
They're not dry. I forgot to mention earlier that it's also really beneficial to use room temperature eggs because we're going to be adding them to hot liquid and it will help keep them from curdle. So to my egg whites here, I'm going to add 3 egg yolks. And I'm just going to mix again until it's nicely incorporated and frothy. Looks pretty good. So now I need some lemons from you.
All right, so I'm going to get going on the lemon juice and the lemon zest, and I like to have lemons at room temperature, and I like to just kind of give them a roll with the palm of my hand.
And that helps to release the juices, right?
Get the most juice. The juice is worth the squeeze in this recipe for sure. All right, so always remember to zest first.
Okay.
And this recipe calls for a tablespoon of lemon zest. You could go up a little if you wanted, I guess. All right, so that looks about to be. So a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. I'm a little more than, let's just dump a little of this out and then we'll eyeball from there. Okay.
Perfect.
So what are we doing next?
We add the lemon juice and the zest to my mixed eggs here.
Okay.
Thank you, perfect. Gonna give this a little mix again, make sure everything's nicely incorporated. Now that my lemon has been nicely mixed into my eggs, I'm going to slowly add my broth to the mixture. Now this is still warm, and as you can see, there's a little fat on top. If you choose, you could skim that fat off, but there's really not very much here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add it to my egg mixture.
Perfect.
Now because this is warm, I want to add it slowly, just to make sure I don't cook the eggs. So just a little bit at a time. Try to not make a mess. I always joke with people and tell them that my truest talent is making a mess.
That's why we love you, Josh.
All right, so that's in there. Just gonna keep mixing it, make sure everything's thoroughly incorporated and that the eggs are properly tempered. And now all we have to do is wait for the rice to be done.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The rice is ready too. Okay.
Okay.
So let's take the lid off. It's tender, it's ready to go
Perfect.
with the thickener,
Okay.
the lemon juice, the lemon zest, and the egg.
So I will add the lemon mixture. Will you stir
I will
while I
stir,
pour? Okay.
Stir. So then after this is added, we're going to season it a little bit.
Okay.
And we're going to
all
bring it
in
back
there.
to a simmer.
Okay. So this gets a teaspoon of salt. I'm using kosher salt here today. It's my favorite. And a half teaspoon of pepper. Just eyeball that. Give it some great flavor. And now we just stir and simmer until it thickens.
Stir and let it simmer, and yep, that's gonna thicken up. It's gonna be creamy and delicious, and then we're gonna add it into the bowls,
Okay.
and then put the chicken on. So the
Nice.
chicken doesn't go in here.
Okay.
I mean, I suppose you could, but that's not the true Avgolemono way to do it. So
Well, there you have it. It's officially the first time I've ever added eggs to a soup.
All right, Josh, it's been a little bit, and we've got this soup thickened to where I think we are ready to serve, because
It
it's
looks
making me hungry.
It looks nice. And you can definitely tell that it's thickened up from the egg.
Absolutely.
Okay, it is time to get this soup in some bowls and eat. I can't wait. It smells so good. And I said at the beginning, I'm always excited to try new recipes.
For sure. And I'm gonna top it with some of the chicken. So
Perfect.
we pulled this out earlier and we let it cool a little bit and shredded it. And you can add as much or as little as you like. And just serve it right on top like this. And what else are we gonna add to this?
Oh, I'm gonna top mine with a little bit of pepper, just because I like extra pepper on my stuff. And I'm gonna use some fresh parsley.
Nice.
I love the sort of bitter, crisp flavor of the parsley.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Let's go in. Oh, ooh, that is good. That lemon flavor is actually like you think it's like chicken soup, but then you get a pop of lemon.
It's
which-
really actually nicely
great.
balanced.
Yeah.
It's got bright, fresh flavors. I'm gonna keep eating this, and this is definitely going to go into my repertoire of recipes that I regularly make.
As it
Sarah,
should.
thank you for introducing me to Avgolemono soup.
Oh, Josh, thanks for helping me make it. It was awesome.
It was a pleasure.
And it tastes so good. Thanks,
does.
guys.